Hey guys, it's your girl Londyn, and today we're going to be doing a wear test and review on the Fenty Beauty Eavesdrop Blurring Skin Tint. So, if you guys do not know, this recently just hit the market and kind of took it a bit by storm. I think because that's what Fenty Beauty does, and it is getting ready to be summer, so people are really looking for something that has light to medium coverage, but is very easy to use, doesn't feel heavy on the skin, and isn't as thick as a traditional foundation. However, they still want kind of that matte finish of their favorite matte foundation, where a lot of kind of tinted moisturizers and skin tints tend to be a little more dewy. If you're somebody who's combination oily like me, there are certain times of the year where my skin is a little more oily, and there are certain times of the year where it's a little more dry. In the summer, it tends to be dry in certain areas, but really more oily all over, so this seemed like the perfect product for me. Now, let me just give you a slight rundown. It says that it's a light to medium coverage and that it's for all skin tones. That's different. Usually it says skin types, it says skin tones. I don't know if that was a typo and they meant for it to be all skin types, or if it actually meant all skin tones because they have 25 flexible shades. This blends and blurs to instant perfection, and it's light as air. So I have used this. This is not a first impression. I have been using this probably for the last 2 weeks or so, and I have the colors 12 and I have the color 13. Originally, I just had the color 13, and what I found was, much like the rest of the Fenty line, when you put it on your skin, if you give it about 5 minutes, it does kind of dry down about half a shade darker. So I went ahead and I got the color 12 just to see what that would look like. Neither of them were really perfect matches. So what I did was I combined them. So today what I did was I combined 6 drops of the 13 and 3 drops of the 12. And I know that that seems a little exaggeratory, but I wanted to make sure I had enough coverage. So it's about a 50-50 ratio is what I have, because I really like the undertone of the 13, but when it dries down, the shade is just a little bit too dark. So I wanted to put that 12 in there to just assist with the shade dry down, but not really change the undertone too much. So let me go ahead, and I do have this on a Sephora haul so you guys can better see some of the swatches of it, but I'm just going to show you guys what the shades look like. Now this is the component. It is super cute. It is super thin. It's easy to store. It has 1.08 fluid ounces in this tiny bottle. So a traditional foundation bottle, is much larger, and it usually holds about 1 fluid ounce. This is 1.08 fluid ounces, and it's in this very thin plastic container, very easy to transport, nice kind of twist cap, and just the drops. Now, if you guys can see this, on the bottom is where 12 has already started to dry, and at the top is where 12 was just put. So you can kind of see that color difference. It happens very, very quickly. And like I said, I don't particularly care for that. I wish that it was more so true to color, and what you put it on as is what it stayed as. But here we are. And 13, I really like it because 13 has more of a neutral olive undertone, and 12 has more of a golden undertone. So this right here is 12, and then next to it is going to be 13. So as you can see, 12 has that kind of lighter yellowish undertone, and then 13 very much so has kind of that neutral olive undertone, and as they're drying down, they are definitely changing their color from the initial color they were when I put them on my hands. But you can see that the 13 is just slightly, I'm looking in my mirror if I'm looking down, the 13 is slightly too dark and the 12 is slightly too light, but mixed together, this is what they create. So this is the color I'm going to be putting on my face today, and this is a mix, a 50-50 ratio of the 12 and 13, and that is this right here. So as you can see, it's not quite as light as the 12, but it's not quite as deep as the 13. It's just somewhere in the middle where it still has that nice undertone of the 13, but it does have the kind of lightness of the 12. And this is what I've been using. I've been using just the mixed together shade. I don't prefer to do that. I definitely think that in today's age, you should not have to mix foundation shades together, skin tint shades together. That there's just too much technology out there, too much now known about undertones and things like that to really have to be doing that type of thing, especially with Fenty Beauty. They've always been really good at complexion products. However, I think that because these are 25 flexible shades, which means that they created 25 shades that within each shade cover anywhere probably from 2 to 3, even 2 to 5 various colors of skin, you're undoubtedly not going to be able to have a spot on perfect match for most people. It's just going to be better than not. And because it is a lightweight formula, it is a little more giving as far as when you blend it into the skin versus a full coverage foundation or a true medium foundation where it is much heavier, and so you really need the color to be more spot on. These provide a little bit of flexibility for you to be a little too light or a little too deep and really be able to blend it in appropriately. But I think that most people are going to find that they're not going to find their perfect shade in this, even with the conversion chart that they have online, that you're really going to have to either get two and mix them, get one and use a lighter or deeper powder to kind of offset it, or you're going to have to just pick the best that's out there and kind of just manipulate it as you can. So let's go ahead and let's get into this application. So I put it inside of just this little thing right here, and we're going to put it on. And you don't necessarily need a ton. I do already have my face prepped with my primer. I have it prepped with my concealers. I have everything nice and prepped so you could just get on into the skin tint. We didn't have to spend too much time doing kind of the prep work, but I will have everything listed below in the information box as far as what I did prep my skin with. Now this may be just slightly too much, but we are going to use our fingers because that is kind of the suggested method, and then afterwards I usually go in with a sponge just to make sure that it is nicely put into the skin. Now I know some people, this is not their preferred method of applying any product, foundation, skin tint, even concealer, that they really prefer to use a brush or even a sponge. But I think with the skin tint, the reason why this is the preferred method is because it's supposed to blend into the skin so easily, and it's kind of, again, like a tinted moisturizer in the sense that in theory, you should be able to just find your shade, put it on, and not have to worry too much about lines of demarcation, patchiness, things like that, because the color is so flexible and goes so well with the complexion that, unlike, again, a traditional foundation, you don't really have to worry about all those little nuances of really getting things into the crevices and being worried about things like patchiness or it not really blending out the way that you want it to. This is supposed to be just really fast, really easy, kind of no fuss, no muss, and you're ready to go. I do find that I do like it kind of applied like this, and the reason why I do put my foundation products like this, or my base products like this, is because I do put my concealer on before. I put it on my base products, and I do not put concealer on over the top. So as you can see, I just put that on, and I think that although when it first goes on, it does look slightly light, that as it kind of dries down, I think it really goes into the skin nicely. It feels nice on the skin. I do think, though, that you do want to prep the skin nicely, even though I am combination oily. You do want to make sure that you have nicely hydrated skin. Since this is kind of a soft, matte finish, if you do have some dry patches, I can tell you when I've had them, it absolutely did dry onto them, cling onto them, and it looked absolutely horrible. This is also, to me, a skin tint that I set everything I put on my face with a powder. You want to be light with the powder because since it is, again, kind of a matte, soft matte finish, it can look very dry very quickly. And then especially if you have some dry patches, it is definitely going to highlight that. But this is the way it looks. I think that it looks very nice. I think it looks very, very pretty. Easy peasy. This is how much we have left. So you probably have, if you want to build up on any spots, you definitely probably could. So let me just go right here where I usually get like a little bit of redness right here around the nose area. But you definitely could, add more. Now, because this is a light to medium coverage, I don't suggest trying to build it up to a full medium or even past that, because it is a skin tint, and I think what you're going to do is you're going to end up having it not look its best. So if you're not somebody who's into a light to medium coverage, really way more on the light side, then I would say this is not for you. I would not buy this and try to force it to be a true medium coverage or even build beyond that, because then I think it's really going to negate the kind of authenticity of the product itself. You're better set getting the soft matte foundation or even the dewy foundation that she has if you're really seeking kind of like a true medium to full coverage products for your face. But I would not recommend trying to build up a skin tint which is light to medium, really is more on the light side, to a true medium to full coverage. But as you can see, it did very, very nice with laying on itself, getting to, I believe, a nice coverage. And I think that did a nice job covering, especially right here. I had these three little things I'm dealing with that I have been picking at. I think that it did just as well as any of my foundations, kind of covering that up. And I think, as you can see, as we've said over time, that the color has really become very, very nice. And from where I'm sitting, and of course I could watch this footage back and like, girl, what were you looking at? It is, to me, really undetectable. So I am very, very happy with it, but I'm not happy with the fact that I have to blend the two colors together. I believe that this is $29.50. I will notate the actual price of it in the information box, but this is it. So I'm going to go ahead and I am going to put on the rest of my face makeup. I'm going to show you guys kind of what it looks like when all my products are on, and then we will go throughout the day and we will do the full wear test. It is 6:52 a.m. in the morning because I do have work today, so I am seeing patients today, so I had to get up extra early to do this. So we're going to kind of call an even 7 a.m. I get done with my day at 6, so I'll probably check in sometime between 6 and 7. So we're probably going to get a full 12 hours out of this. And that may end up being the standard wear test that I do from now on, is a 12-hour wear test. So we'll get about 12 hours out of this, and we'll really be able to see how it held up over a 12-hour day. Was it worth it to get the skin tint? Should you just go with a regular foundation? Kind of how did it work? How did I feel like it went? And we'll kind of do our thoughts and everything at the end of the review. But for now, I'm going to go ahead. I'm going to put on the rest of my makeup. I'll come back and show you what everything looks like. And then I won't see you guys for a couple hours. So I will be right back so you can see how everything lays on this skin tint face. Hey guys, it is a future Londyn, and so I wanted to go ahead and show you guys what this skin tint looked like in natural lighting. So this is without any studio lights, just the light that I have in my room. None of my even window lighting because those are drawn, but this is what it looks like in some natural light, so you guys can see outside of kind of studio lighting what it's actually looking like here. And I think that it still looks very nice. I don't have any of my other makeup on yet. I just thought that I would go ahead and pop this in so you guys could see what it looks like in natural light. I just wanted to give you guys this little kind of Samantha Jane YT style of what it looks like in the natural lighting. So we'll be back soon. Okay, my fine friends, it is me again. I have all of my makeup on. I have all of my powder, all of my blush, all of my highlighter, lipstick, eyeshadow. Everything is complete. The eyeshadow, if you're wondering, is from my summer eyeshadow palette video. So if it's up now, get into it and check it out to see what this eyeshadow palette is. If it's not up yet, wait for it so you can see what my favorite summer eyeshadow palettes are, because I used one of those here today and I think it looks really pretty. So all the makeup looks very pretty. It looks like it laid down very nicely. I'm into it. I'm loving it. Easy breezy, beautiful. It is 7:46 a.m. so it took us about an hour to put the rest of our makeup on. So we've had the foundation on, or I should say skin tint, on for about an hour, and I think that it's looking really good. So I'm going to go ahead. I'm going to finish getting ready for work. I'm going to start my work day, and then I will see you guys at the end of my day at about 7 o'clock. 12 hours later, we will check in and we will see where we're at with everything. So hope you guys have a great day. I'm headed off to work. Bye. Hey guys, I'm back. I'm done with work. It is 7:12 p.m. so we are doing our 12-hour check-in. Let's go. So I have not, let me move a little closer. I have not touched up anything with my makeup. I haven't blotted, nothing like that. The only thing I've done is added more lipstick throughout the day. Thoughts. Now, like I said, I have worn this. I wore it once with number 12, twice with number 13, once together and then now. So I've worn this foundation, I'm sorry, skin tint 5 times. I've tried it with a bunch of different primers, different powders over it, and like it doesn't look excessively shiny. That's the one thing I can say. I do think that it stays nice and fairly matte throughout the day. I do have some oils that pop through, but I think that it still looks beautiful. As a matter of fact, let me go ahead and let's just do a little blot, shall we? Since I have this near me. Because like I said, I did not blot today, but why not? And this gives me my little mirror so I can actually see what I'm talking about with you guys. You can see a little more here because I did have my glasses on today. So if you see any movement of the skin tint from around my nose, it's because I did wear my glasses. What I am going to say prior to me blotting is I'm really, really continually disappointed in the fact that it really seeps into my smile lines right here. You see that? And I don't really have foundations or face products that do that to me anymore. But this is really doing it, and I don't like it, especially because it's a skin tint. I also noticed that right here on my forehead, I feel like my forehead looks extra textured. And I typically, I don't have that either. But it really just looks extra textured. And I really prepped my skin with the moisturization. And it's just, I'm not loving that. I'm also not loving underneath my eyes. It just, again, looks a little textured. Like, underneath my eyes, around my mouth, and on my forehead, to me, it just looks extra textured. I'm also not loving the fact that I think that the foundation looks good here, but I think even throughout the day, I don't know, it feels like it got a little wonky because when I look here, I don't know, it just looks slightly off. Like, not, I mean, slightly gray, but I know that because it has the olive undertone, but I don't know. Let me go ahead and blot. So this is without the blotting. We'll do one side first. Kind of especially go over. Now when I go over the foundation on the smile lines, it definitely looked like it took away that kind of buildup that it had right there. And I just have my highlighter on. So this is what this looks like. Let me go ahead and show you guys from just one side of the face. So that's fairly significant, but can you guys see the difference? So this is the side that has not been blotted, and this is the side that has been blotted. So I think that once you blot it, I think that the look of the I keep calling it foundation, a look of the skin tint looks nice. As far as it kind of goes back to the original way it looked when we first put it on, which I did enjoy. But the fact of the matter is that it's not something that really stays that way. So I'm not a person that typically blots throughout the day. And on this side, if you can see where it used to be in my smile line, now it's actually fully on this side, kind of creased in there. And it looks almost like you have extra foundation right there. And I know that in my original wear, putting it on, I kept having the little skin tint right here. And it was not blended out. But I mean, look right here. See? Where it kind of really just built up. So, and then even right here, remember I told you those little bits I had been picking at? It's just, I don't, I mean, in pictures, I think that it performed beautifully, but I'm going to pull you guys in just a little bit more so you can see it a little bit better. So, we're going to come in for the zoom time. Okay, so here we are. So, I just want to show you guys again. This right here, where it kind of creviced up. Right here, it looks kind of horrible. On my forehead, I don't like the way that that looks. And then really underneath my eyes right here, I don't like the way that that looks either. So on this side, kind of the creasing was able to go away. On this side, it just kind of clunked up. And then right here, it's just, I don't, I don't think that I love it enough. Let me go ahead and zoom you guys back out. So I'm really feeling like I don't love it enough, and I don't return things, but I think I'm going to return both of them to Sephora because I'm not in love with it enough. And to be quite honest with you, I don't think that I'm going to be wearing it. I mean, everybody has a little peach fuzz, but this literally sticks to every piece of peach fuzz I have on my face. So Yeah, guys, I don't think you're going to be seeing the skin tint anymore on my channel because I think that I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to return it because it's like $29.50. So basically that was $60 for both of them, and this is not impressed. So I'm going to go ahead and return it, unfortunately. I think once you blot it, it looks decent. It has been 12 hours. I do know that, but it also is a skin tint. I feel like some of these things shouldn't be happening in like connecting to my peach fuzz. It's just not impressed when kind of Colourpop has tinted moisturizer that I think performs much better than this does. This is kind of giving me the hassles and problems that a foundation can do, but in a skin tint, and I'm not here for it. That's not the journey that I'm on, so I think I'm going to go ahead and return it. Let me know what you guys think about it. How did you think that it wore? If you've tried it personally, how do you think that it wore? Let me know in the comment section down below. And until our next review, guys, if you haven't already, hit the subscribe button and notification bell so you can be notified of all my videos. Head over to Instagram, follow me at Londyn so you can see what I do when I'm not here on the YouTubes. If you enjoyed the video, give me not one, but two very enthusiastic thumbs up. And like I said, until our next foundation product review, I will miss you guys. I love you, and I will see you on the flip side. Bye, guys. I love you.